back to MyView TV, the people's platform, the home of undiluted news, reviews, updates, and your daily dose of entertainment. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, like, share, and subscribe.
I don't bring nobody forward in your cheer for me. Everything what you see up my natural talent. Man, me tell you something. You see, when you know what to please the audience with, it's simple, me.
Even on your darkest day, which for some of you all, that is every single day, someone is inspired by the light of your strength. Someone notices quality you never realize you have. Someone takes encouragement from your mindset. Someone wants to be as kind as you are. There's a lot more to you than tough times. Keep shining. As a matter of fact, after a certain age, you are no longer the product of your environment or how you were raised. It's a personal choice. So stop talking about train up a child where this should go and where this goes not apart from it. Nonsense! It's a personal choice to live the way you do. At some point, blaming your past becomes a distraction from your future. Healing is your responsibility. Let me say that again. Healing is your responsibility. Growth is your decision. What go on, my people? Hope everybody doing okay. Hope everybody doing all right. Instead of Saturday morning, get up and find myself alive. Every day above ground is a blessing. Awesome is to be amongst the living. And surely, not amongst the dead. Give thanks to life and the gathering. So remember the people them say. Or the people that will lead and the police lead say they say the man take the gun out of her bag and clot a shot off her. Remember? Don't need to worry. Once gun involved, you know say me know some people who know some people. I may get the next side of the story for you. Who know? Me have it still, you know. Keep back and relax. I mean, I want the police because my view, you find the man forget that their story there. Galango do no work. Galango, hey, you know what? Let me start the operation, right? It's because a baby and couple people well meeting our accident on the Rosal main road. I can tell you something. The baby I feel the most pain. Because the baby was flung from the vehicle. The other day when the Prime Minister they come out and say, yo, car seat supposed to stay in a car. One whole heap of people they caught against it. See that now? The baby fly from the vehicle, boom on the concrete. The condition at this time is not known. But me I call on the hospital to find out the go on. Soon as we get the information, me I come back, come update. Alright, watch out now, people. Right over the abandoned house in our little place called Plowden District in South Manchester. The lady where they missed from February 16, Annie. Oh, me have a correct name. Rosemary Super Sad, she a 54-year-old. Them find her decomposed body over there at about 2 p.m. yesterday. I never see them a look for. Coming like I capture somebody who want capture the house. We've been vacant for quite a long time. And then go in there and then buck up on it and then just call police. And police move the body. Can't go and forget autopsy on it, you understand? To determine the cause of death. Move from right there, so now. Right around Westmoreland. I can tell the cause of death for this one. 45-year-old Craig Chong, who operate multiple hardware store within Westmoreland, decides to watch your guan pan wagwan. Enough is enough. The man take him go and put it right time head. Radai! Lick out your whole lime head side. But you know, all of this could have been avoided though. Craig never have to kill himself. If only Abby they just talk to Craig when Craig call her. You understand? But no! She have to go to gym, go exercise, and we don't see where she have to go gym for where she have waste her money. I said, you don't know me already, me now put my mouth and go and talk. Waste Abby a waste her money. Just talk to Craig and talk Craig all time. People listen to me keen, you know. Sometimes some people call, you know. Sometimes they don't really have nothing to say, you know. Them just want to hear the voice and stay up on the phone, you don't know. Just for a little bit. Because whatever them I go through, you might be that one to talk them out of it. Don't tap out. Don't give in to foolishness, people. Someone need to go pray. Who can pray? Find somebody pray for you. Seek a friend before you need a friend. Craig had a friend. And he called him friend. But him friend decides to say, Jim Shago.
Knowing the Craig, he was always chirpy and upbeat and happy. We had a good conversation and I said, let me call you back because I'm heading into the gym. And I never get the chance to call him back. But while calling his phone this morning, it rang without an answer way before I heard of the news. And he's the person, when you call him, as the phone ring, he'll call you back to say, oh, Abs, I missed a call. But when that call didn't come in and then I got the phone call to see if I hear what happened, was really a hard one, a real hard one, trust me. Great individual. It's a hard one for us. And I must say, Craig was a good man. He was a true gentleman. I mean, he would go beyond and above for us. He was always present no matter what we were having, and I can go back as far as February 27 when he had a groundbreaking ceremony for a property they had just purchased. And I remember he sent a voice note inviting me and said, Abby, make sure you turn up. And you know, he never tell you no. If he can't, he will say to you, just give me some time. And the parish have lost a true man, a true businessman.
Just as I never tell you no, Abby, I could have just put off Jim and talk to Craig. Craig gonna be alive today. You understand me? No, say yeah, ball. Where you ball for? Nobody the ball in. Moving along now, people can guess go on, power go on. This a little rapper man up on the screen. They finally hold him. Yes, they finally threw a handcuff on him. All of the accolades and awards that he got in New York, he lose all of them now. After him and him people, them and him friend, them got a party, you know. The little girl in her vehicle and him decide, so watch her go on power go. So we got the next party. He better go drop T-lip on her. She never agreed to it. She never agreed to it. And him take when it belongs to him. You understand? So this is 27-year-old Daheem Morris, and them charge him with rape, sexual abuse, forcible touching, and sexual misconduct. I guess they go on power go on. Him a go back a court May 8. So if there's any other female what is a boy a hold on and rape, listen to me. We need to make a report now because we don't want him to see back straight as a matter of fact. Mr. Government overseas. No send him back to Jamaica when they're done with him. Hang him! Because look, a 20-year-old decides, say, yo, she no want nothing from him, and him threaten her, you know, and take it, you know, and tell her, so if she ever talk, I'm going to chat to her skin. People, don't worry. I will be keeping the posted on this one, because you don't know me already. I always know some people, know some people, know some people. We always know the victims. You understand? But don't need to worry. I don't want to rush it because I have other things to tell you now, because people missing, people dead. I can start with who missing first. You understand? Shauna White. She's only 16-year-old. The Ola be a police, in my view, from March 5th at about 3 p.m. She was last seen at school in Clarendon, dressed in her green tunic, white blouse, and a pair of brown shoes. Nobody don't see this a little picnic from them the time there. Anybody see it? Send it tight yard. Love man too much. This a boy I know. In goodly all dead. 36-year-old Josiah Williams today on March 7th, and from March 1st he missing at about 3:13 p.m. The whole Harbour police said, my view, Williams was last seen at home. His mode of dress at the time is unknown when he went missing. He's of brown complexion, slim built, and about 180 centimeters. That is 5 feet 11 inches tall. Let me tell you something. Dead him goodly dead too. You understand? Normally I say, boy, I miss it like that. Dead. Speaking of dead, me I go some boom and go right around a summertime. You know it's my summertime there? Adelphina St. James. There I say Rohan dead. 45-year-old Rohan Green. He's an auto body mechanic. You understand? And him come from same place like I St. James. Him and them go van yard. Me tell them I look for him all long. Right over here, them go at about 11:55 a.m. When he be supposed to they are working, then I had lie down in a bed. Lick the man, them go over there, go lick shot in his skin, kill him. People, Rohan dead. Just like that. Condolences to the family and friends of Rohan. You understand? May Rohan's soul rest in peace. I don't know if he mix up, so now I will come and tell me, say, yo, Rohan mix up. Well, the part of the news now where some people that say justice was served, some people that say they not even know. For me, Justice can't serve when people get prison time. Plain and straight. Dead the boy, they for dead. No matter what no one want to say and where Justice Sykes and him friend them want to come. I dead him supposed to dead. You understand? The family shall find some people for like some shot in their skin before this trial and even start. Because them know say it's him. Kill the people then girl pitney. They didn't come back church and a ball. Crocodile tears. Miss my wife. They know say you do what you do. And I come and talk about provocation. Well, he get 20 years and about 10 months. But based on now, champagne attack. You can see say the deal done cut for a long time. So watch ya. We are get 20 years and 10 months, but 13 years you are going to spend. Because you come out for good behavior. Mighty God. And then no one say justice serve. Justice system don't make no sense, man. That me I tell you no. But anyway, who want to listen? Who don't want to listen? Sooner or later we have people business for chat.
Justice.
Justice, I agree.
Justice. The offense was manslaughter. We got 20 years and 10 months. For murder, sometimes the sentence is just that, 20 years or even less. So, justice.
You feel 20 years, 10 months kind of take the public off your back, as it were, because a lot of people in the public were saying...
I never felt like the public was on my back. My position is this. Most persons, when they hear manslaughter, they think of a motor vehicle accident and somebody has died. So education is what was required, is what is required. So I didn't feel as if the public was on my back at all. And I knew that when we got into court, and certainly when you were allowed into court, you would hear more. But no, I've never felt like the public was on my back.
What's one of the biggest misconceptions of this?
Biggest misconceptions? Well, I don't know what it is that has been said out there much, you know. You know, I'm not on social media. I'm not listening to that. When we have a file and we read and prepare the file, we look at the law, and this decision was made based on law. That's it.
The public felt that the prosecution could have tried to, you know, fight this case and probably possibly...
But what do you mean by fight though? Because that's exactly what we did. We made a decision. And so I want the public to appreciate that when you talk about going to a trial, you're talking about getting witnesses to come to court, to go into the witness box, and hopefully that they will say what it is they said in a statement some time ago, almost verbatim. We're talking about where this particular case is concerned, putting two little boys in the witness box to speak about what it is they're saying daddy did in respect of mommy. That is something that needs to be taken into consideration as well. So we look at the law, we look at the material we have, we look at getting the witnesses to come to court and basically for them to be consistent in terms of what they said in their written statements. I think we made the right decision to do. Where the law is concerned, where the statement that the accused man gave is concerned, it was glaringly obvious that there he had the partial defense of provocation. Yeah.
What do you make of, you know, the case?
Well, I mean, each case turns on its own set of circumstances. I mean, we had to make decisions in this case based on consultations in the office. We had to make decisions based on the evidence, decisions based on who the witnesses are. So at the end of the day, the collaborative effort inside the office and our case preparation led us to, one, accept the manslaughter plea and to put ourselves in a position to address the court and sentencing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what we are saying is that justice was not.
Yeah, your boss kept saying justice.
Indeed. And I'm in agreement.
20 years for manslaughter after I give the plea. Yes. A long time appealing coming.
That is not something that we have determined as yet, because when you look at it in the context of 20 years, remember that the calculation in terms of imprisonment, you serve 2/3 of that once you are on good behavior. So it may very well be a situation where, in relation to the 20 years to which you refer, it may very well calculate to be about 13 years, consistent with the eligibility for parole in respect of the committing felony using a firearm, which is the recommendation that the Chief Justice said, 13 years again of eligibility in terms of parole. So in long and short of it, what we're looking at is really, in real terms, 13 years, provided that certain conditions are met. In the context of everything, I would not be quick to say Court of Appeal at all. And I want to use this opportunity to, first of all, thank Ms. Riley, who has been, Ms. Patrice Riley, who assisted me in this matter. I want to thank the media, members of the public. The reception in terms of the live streaming was done with decorum, and there wasn't any outburst or anything like that. And I thought, all in all, what won today was the justice system and the Chief Justice explaining from the very start why it is that the provocation plea was accepted. And I'm also very happy, and I think it's very important to emphasize that these misinformation in terms of the deceased being shot in areas, which I would not want to mention, and the whole issue of history of abuse and the whole issue of cover-up, all of those things today were demonstrated to be false. The fact of the matter is that this case raises other issues in terms of, yes, domestic violence and how you treat it, and domestic violence not only in relation to women, but men as well, because it cuts both ways. You have instances where men are abused, and because of the conventional culture and wisdom, there is a reluctance for men to either leave a relationship or to make a formal report. I don't wish to speak ill of the dead, and I think her memory must be preserved. And we also have to bear in mind at the end of the day that the overriding consideration is one thing: the children. So I am not going to, we are not going to go into the nuts and bolts of who did what, when, how, and the circumstances. It's unfortunate, and I hope that this has brought closure and we can move on to heal.
Mr. Champagne, you said
Yes.
one thing, just one clarify.
Yes.
You said cover up. Are you trying to say, or this is what you're saying, that there will not be court in terms of concealing evidence, in terms of the room and stuff like that?
That's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. The information there, yes, there was alteration that was done in relation to the bedroom, but that was done, what? 1 month after, 4 weeks after. And what was the alteration? Putting linoleum tiles, the plastic tiles over the unfinished ground. It wasn't tiled before. And a chair was sprayed and a bed was sprayed 1 month after approaching Christmas, when persons would normally visit. Is that what you call cover-up? I don't think so.
The judge accepted that there was the
What the judge, as I understood it, made reference to was in relation to the firearm and certain things that it is said that was done to the firearm. I can tell you now that the matter is at an end, that we had employed our own ballistic expert from overseas, and we don't necessarily share that view. So I would want to refute the issue of cover-up. And to be quite frank with you, it didn't really feature heavily in the case. I think what was referred to in terms of cover-up is the stance, and was the stance of Mr. Silvera immediately after, to say that certain things happened, and he gave a statement. We can't shy away from that, but he gave a statement not pointing to any culpability on his part. So if you want to use the word cover-up, that is a perspective or the direction that I would say, yes, you could say that that may have been the situation, but in the plea mitigation, it was demonstrated why. As to whether or not it was a reasonable excuse is another matter, but he gave a reason as to why.
What's your reaction to him lauding the FLA, the ballistic expert, and the pathologist as it relates to the process? And if they were not paying attention and not being diligent, we would not have been here today.
I can't disagree with that in all candor. I can't disagree. I think we have a tendency sometimes to bash our system in terms of the forensic and ballistic capabilities. We have come a far way, and in fact I saw that based on the comments that our own experts from overseas made. There was much commendation in terms of Mr. Bernard, that is the ballistics expert, forensic expert. So I can't say anything negative about that at all. I can't. But you will appreciate that given the political climate at the time, given all of the grand conspiracy at the time, given all of what was being said, the defense was obliged, in one sense, to test the veracity, certainly us, to test the veracity of the testings. It didn't mean that we were necessarily suggesting any untoward situation in relation to any expert. But, you know, as a defense counsel, you leave no stone unturned and you explore all options until your instructions they guide you otherwise.
With strategic.
Tactical, based on what was said just now.
I think the only strategy, you see, one needs to make the distinction between an accused person and defense counsel. And defense counsel is guided by instructions, right? If there's any tactical attribution to us as counsel, it would be when, no, it didn't go there, but I'm just, you know, responding to you fulsomely. It would be when we decided to give the plea. And that was occasioned by certain information that had guided us in terms of the ballistic report.
One of the things that came out is that the jurisdiction of Jamaica does not really consider manslaughter in terms of guns. Yes. Where do you think we're going with that in the future?
I think that's a case where we need to examine that. I think the Chief Justice was spot on, because even in our own research, there was a paucity of authorities coming from our jurisdiction in relation to firearms and manslaughter, especially licensed firearms. So yes, I think we need to have legislation, and in fact the Chief Justice did hint to that we need to look at that, and suggested a kind of rudimentary kind of formulation. That was not his purpose today, but I mean reference was made to that. So I think we need to revisit that. I also think that we need to revisit this whole concept of mandatory minimum sentence in relation to the Firearms Act. It still is, in my respectful view, very draconian, and I want to say one size doesn't fit all.
We are happy that justice was done, but we are a little bit unhappy. We thought that the aggravating factors would have been more than the mitigating factors, but it is what it is, and he definitely has to now recognize that he has to do the time for the crime that he has done. So all in all, we are happy with the length, but we could have been a little happier.
How far would you have wanted it to go?
I think we would have wanted the full 25 years. 25 years would have been where we would have been 100%.
What's next for the family?
Well, we're still at a place of closure. I think now we have more closure. It's just for us now to really reflect again as a family. The whole point of this was just to make sure that we humanize Melissa, that she was just not an ex-politician's wife, or she was just not another female who was murdered, but she was remembered as a person, a cousin, a mother. We will continue in years coming to reflect on her that way. Her memory will always be alive, because the movement is just not going to be a protest here, a protest there. After the case, it's nothing. So that is really what we're focused on. And for her kids are now going to be in a position where we as family have to continue to be around them, to mentor them, and to make sure now that they have a quality of life growing up that is going to not want to put them in any mental state or psychological state. So, you know, these are the things that as a family going forward we will know.
How are the children?
They're well, they're settling down, they're in school, they have their sporting progress, so they're good. It's as you can imagine, for children dealing with this, losing their grandmother 6 months before losing their mother, and now this circumstance has happened with their father. It's as adults, none of us can deal with that, much less children. So it will be a difficult time for them, but they're good, and they'll continue to be good, and as a family we'll continue to wrap our arms around them and support them.
Do they talk about the incident?
They don't really talk about the incident, and a lot of it is just they're doing their best to make sure mentally that they can stay afloat as much as children really can. Where they do speak about it, we don't, as family, we don't shield it. We will listen, and as best as we can provide counsel. Chris has been absolutely phenomenal with the children. So we do what we can.
The judge found that Mr. Silvera was more strategic than remorse for what the family.
Yeah, that is clear. The case was methodologically shown that it was a strategic move. Nobody deserves to have a family member die, and then it is a cover up at the end. So it is unfortunate, but we agree that it was a strategic.
Were you satisfied with the parole time that was given?
We were a bit surprised at the end when the matter of parole came up. As a family, we would have wished that there was no entitlement to parole. But if the justice system allows somebody to have parole and that is within the law and the judge sees it fit, our feelings are our feelings, but somebody's entitlement is their entitlement.
Thanks for watching. This was a MyView TV production. Remember to share, like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, tell a friend for tell a friend, and remember, never bring nobody forward for cheer for him. Walk good.